I'm Jane Miller here with my friend Brian Parent again for Acoustic Guitar in the third of our series on reading melodies in standard guitar notation. This is duet playing, and in this third part of the series we are using the same material, basically the same song, but moved to the key of C. So just a refresher, last time we were playing in the key of G, and we had that at the second fret position. So a G scale typically would be in this part of the neck if we're playing notes in that part of the neck anyway. This time we're shifting to fifth fret position to play a C major scale and the notes that are in that scale to create the melody in that new key. So just to play through the major scale in that position is this. So that's example one. It's the C major scale from its sixth degree, which is A. And so that'll be its relative minor, also known as A Aeolian, if you're thinking in terms of mode names. A relative to C major. So you can hear this as Do. That's C in a C major scale. There's Do. So that's the area that we're working in reading these duets. It's kind of good to have a little base of operations. Example 2 has contrary motion. It's a great example of how music can be written in a composition or in a duet, etude, anything like that, where each player is starting at different ends of the scale and meeting in the middle somewhere. In this case, I'm starting on G, the fifth of the key, and Brian will be starting at the top, the high end, and he'll be working his way down, I'll be going up, and then at the end we will meet in a harmony. Let's try that.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's trade parts now.
Okay,
So
great.
I'll take
part one.
All right, I
Great.
got the high part. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Example 3 is Octave Unison, which is a very effective way to compose something, and it's an especially nice sound for two acoustic guitars, I think. The timbre is really nice the way it lines up in octaves. We're going to play the same rhythm. It's really the same melody, except the last two notes go into harmony again. I'll take part one, Brian.
Sounds good.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's example 3, switching parts now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Example 4 is an example of sort of a tricky rhythm to count in part 1. You'll see 8th quarter 8th. And we've seen this come up in the previous melodies we've been doing in the previous months. It's short, long, short, basically, for that rhythm, 8th quarter 8th. It's very common, so it's good to sort of see the big picture when you see a rhythm like that, rather than trying to stop and count each one, which is sort of like micromanaging the notes. If you can see it as a whole rhythmic figure, you'll already know what it's going to sound like. So it makes the reading go a lot more smoothly. And part 2 is sort of anchoring the whole thing in quarter notes. So keeping a steady quarter note thing until we get to the end when you'll see a power chord there at the end in part 2. You want to take that, part 2?
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try. All right, example 4, we're switching parts. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that brings us to the final etude of the series. This is Duets in the key of C. I think if you've been following these, you'll recognize the melody. It's the same as we did in the key of G, now just transposed to the key of C, and it'll mostly stay in 5th fret position. Some of the bass lines will have a change of position, and that'll be indicated by the Roman numerals. And you'll see a power chord in there, which is the vertical notation, shown as a notated chord, basically. And everything should line up rhythmically. There's counterpoint, so we're just listening to each other to make sure that we're keeping time together, even when the rhythms, when I say line up, they line up even if they're not exactly the same. So we're connecting, we're kind of keeping our internal clocks going in the same by listening to each other in the same way. All right, Brian, I'll take part 1 first.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Okay, let's switch parts now.
Okay.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Brian, thanks so much for doing this.
Good to be here, Jane.
Really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching. I hope you get to play some duets in other contexts. You can read anything that's in treble clef, get together with a friend, and try out some clarinet duets, for example. And I hope these have been useful as you work on your reading. Forward motion is the name of the game when you're sight reading. So I hope this encourages you to get together with some friends and try some on your own. For Acoustic Guitar, I'm Jane Miller. Thanks for watching.